Hello, everyone, and welcome to our presentation on health, wellness, and accessibility services. My name is Isabel Silvera. I am one of the accessibility consultants at the Daniel J. Patterson campus, located in Niagara-on-the-Lake. Joining me today, we have two amazing women who have worked at the college for numerous years and have a wealth of experience and knowledge. These ladies have played a pivotal role in fostering student success and overall well-being. It is my pleasure to introduce Chris Philbrick, a registered nurse from the Daniel J. Patterson campus, and Michelle McIntosh, a registered clinician from the Welland campus, who will be discussing counseling services. As well, joining us today, we have a wellness peer. She is enrolled in the Child and Youth Care program at the Welland campus. She has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to supporting students from diverse backgrounds, a group of students with varying needs. It is my pleasure to introduce Cassidy Eastman. Our department offers the following services: accessibility, learning strategies, assistive technologies, health services, and counseling services. The process begins with students self-identifying that they either have a temporary or a permanent disability. Accessibility consultants work collaboratively with students to develop a letter of accommodation, commonly known as an LOA. The goal is to create an individualized letter of accommodation tailored specifically to students' needs. We encourage students to actively participate in this process, and ultimately it is the student's decision what accommodations are included and excluded. During our sessions, accessibility consultants can refer students to different services, such as counseling, health services, assistive technologist, or learning strategist. Our ability to effectively communicate and collaborate as a team is just one of our many strengths. We work together to achieve the same end goal: to ensure that your experience at Niagara College is a positive one. During our sessions, many students highlight that in high school, they had an individual education plan, an IEP. I want to take this opportunity just to highlight some of the differences between high school and college. In high school, academic support is automatic, whereas in college, students need to register with our department so we can discuss the LOA process and academic accommodations. Typically in high school, parents meet with staff to finalize the IEP, whereas in college, students work with our department and actively participate in this process. An assessment may have been conducted in elementary or high school that indicated a learning disability diagnosis, where further documentation and further assessments are no longer required. In post-secondary, if students are interested in applying for bursaries or grants, then a current assessment conducted within the last 5 years is needed. Finally, in high school, academic accommodations are initiated by the teacher. In post-secondary, accommodations are student initiated. For example, if a student wishes to access additional time for tests or exams, then they would book their evaluation in the test center, where that additional time would be added. Many individuals have referred students to accessibility services. Referrals can be made by counselors, nurses or doctors, academic advisors, or professors. Our department supports students with a temporary or permanent disability. A student is considered to have a permanent disability if the symptoms are long-standing. For example, depression, learning disabilities, autism, and anxiety are considered permanent disabilities. There are different types of documentation that our department accepts. Students can submit a psychoeducational assessment, a cognitive assessment, or a neurological assessment. Basically, our department will accept any documentation that is completed by a registered medical practitioner, such as a psychologist, a family physician, or a chiropractor. If an assessment was not conducted, the student can fill out a functional limitations assessment form. Examples of functional limitations can include difficulty concentrating or processing information or sitting for prolonged periods of time. Another example would be if a student is diagnosed with a learning disability and has working memory deficits, they would struggle with remembering information that was presented within the last 5 minutes. They would meet with our department so that we could select accommodations based on their functional limitations. Alternatively, students can submit a disability verification form. They can request that a practitioner fill out this form, and then it would be submitted to financial aid. Additional services available through our department include a learning strategist and assistive technologist. The learning strategist provides one-to-one instruction and approaches to learning and skill building. A student may require assistance with study skills, test taking, or note taking, memory skills, or time management. For example, during a time management session, the LS may suggest that a student utilize an agenda or an online calendar in order to input all of their deadlines to ensure that they're meeting the course expectations. The assistive technologist also provides one-to-one training, one-to-one instruction and training on assistive technology. Students may request electronic textbooks or wish to be trained on how to navigate computerized note-taking software such as OneNote. As well, students may wish to examine text-to-speech or speech-to-text software. For instance, Read and Write is a text-to-speech software that enables students to listen to content presented in emails or websites. Read and Write is also equipped with word prediction software as well as dictionaries. Now I will hand it over to Chris.
Hi, my name is Christine Philbrick, and I want to tell you a little bit today about health services at Niagara College. I work at the Daniel J. Patterson campus in Niagara on the Lake, but we have comprehensive services available at both our Welland campus and in Niagara on the Lake. As you can imagine, optimal health is so very important, and it's a huge, huge component of academic success as well. And that's why I'm really pleased that we have these comprehensive services available for all of our students to support them as they go through their academic journey. So primary healthcare services are basically the same types of services that your family doctor or a local community health clinic would be able to provide to you. And that's what we offer students who are away from home and can't access their primary healthcare that they normally would access. So at the Daniel J. Patterson campus, I'm there full-time as a registered nurse, and we also have physicians who come to our campus part-time to offer physician services to students. At the Welland campus, Penny McKee is the full-time registered nurse, and they're located in the Applied Health building with part-time physician services available as well. So I'll tell you a little bit about the types of services that we provide. And of course, I would always recommend that anybody who had any questions could always contact us directly to inquire. Right now we have virtual appointments, so telephone or Microsoft Teams, but we also have some in-person appointments available for people as well if that's necessary. The types of services that we provide are episodic illness care. So if you weren't feeling well and you needed to consult with a nurse or a doctor about your symptoms. We offer comprehensive sexual health care. So that includes contraception, talking to people about birth control, STI testing, STI treatment, information about how to keep yourself safe and protect yourself and make good choices. And one thing that I really do want to highlight today is the mental health care that we provide. We know that having good mental health and mental well-being is a really, really important part of everyone's life. And when you're away at post-secondary, you can have a lot of challenges that you might not have experienced before. There could be new living situation, academic stressors, work challenges, social challenges, and having optimal mental health is a really important part of having to cope with those things. So we work as part of our integrated team with accessibility and our counseling staff to provide that care to students. We also have Dr. Tiffany, who is our psychiatrist, who comes onto campus to meet with people when they're referred by our general practitioners, Dr. Dobson and Dr. LaRue. We have health resources available. We do lots of referrals to the community if that's helpful to an individual. And other types of treatments can be provided in our clinic as well, such as allergy injections, immunizations, TB skin testing, and all of the components that you require for the communicable disease surveillance that allows students in programs with a community placement to be able to meet all the medical requirements to proceed with that placement. A lot of times at open house types of events, students and parents want to know about insurance. So I'm happy that we included this slide. There is different insurance plans for domestic and international students. And these are the links that you can visit to see what's available and decide if the plan is right for you in terms of opting in or out, or just getting all of the information that you require to make decisions and use that plan accordingly. And I'll pass it over to Michelle now to talk about counseling services.
Hi, everybody. This is Michelle, and I am one of the counselors at the Welland campus of Niagara College. I want to start by congratulating you on showing up and making an active choice in your post-secondary future. It's a really exciting time. And even though we're in a challenging time with COVID and the changes that are happening, and there's some uncertainty, it's really great that you're taking a proactive stance. The counseling services and mental wellness services and mental health services that Niagara College offers are very comprehensive. Chris started us off talking about mental health, and I want to add to the fact that we have a full set of mental health counselors at both campuses that can help you. Right now, we're working virtually, but we do this through phone calls and through Microsoft Teams and other virtual services, but we're still able to really build great therapeutic relationships and support you in the ways you need. Some of the services that we offer are, generally speaking, starting with helping you with your wellness. So while mental health often is seen related to illness, we really focus on a wellness. So looking at mental health as a continuum. So for some students, leaving home for the first time, struggling with roommates, struggling with the pace of college can be quite difficult. So our counselors offer supportive counseling for the students who attend. We also work on personal counseling, and we work with students helping them with relationships. So those relationships can be anything, with your family, with your siblings, with your roommates, just strategies to be able to manage all the different things that you face in relationships. Unfortunately, many students who come to Niagara College have a past of trauma, and every counselor that we have is experienced working with trauma from the past. And if someone undergoes a trauma while they're at the college, we're very good at managing that as well. Sexual and gender issues, we have many students who come to the college, and this is a time when some people start to transition if they're looking at gender identity, sexuality, and those are things that we support students through all the time. Our counselors all as well are master's level counselors. We're either registered social workers or psychotherapists, and we all have a varied and extremely skilled background dealing with mental health issues. So not only could you have a nurse and doctor supporting you, but great care includes counseling for depression, anxiety, bipolar, BPD, and other mental health conditions. As well, we also support our academic areas by looking at some of the issues behind time management, procrastination, and ADHD. So while you get to work with Isabel or one of the other accessibility consultants to be accommodated, sometimes counseling can offer you some support to deal with these issues so that you can really tackle them head on and get to the root of the problem. I'd like to now introduce you to Cassidy, one of our wellness peers who is going to talk about the Wellness Peer Program.
Hi guys, my name is Cassidy and I've been a wellness peer since February. I started at the Welland campus. So the purpose of our program is to support students who just need someone to talk to, whether they're feeling lonely, sad, stressed about their classes, or just need to vent about their profs. We're here to listen to you. Myself and the other wellness peers come from a diverse background, and we are trained to be good listeners, empathetic, and also to provide support and referrals to other programs if it's needed. Some of the programs and services that we refer out to are the health, wellness, and accessibility services. So what we can do for that service is, if you need to talk to a counselor, we can tell you what to expect, and then also, if you want, walk you down to the offices so you have that moral support there with you. We also refer out to the community employment services, enrollment services, NCSAC, student engagement and leadership, Indigenous education, and the international department. So right now our schedule looks a little funny compared to what it used to be. We are online, so you can reach us. So we're there 3 days a week right now, Monday, Thursday, and Friday. We normally are at the campus. We have the newly renovated rooms both at the Welland and the Noddle campus. So how you can contact us. Right now you can contact us by just messaging us on our Instagram page. So if you need to talk to somebody, you just send us a message and you'll get a response just saying, hey, these are your next steps of how to contact us. So I became a wellness peer because I created a similar space at my old high school, and I thought it'd be a great way for me to continue my passion in mental health. I also joined because I thought it'd be a good way to get real life experience and put it into my studies in my child needs care program. So that's essentially the overview of the Wellness of Peer program here at Niagara College. And if you have any other questions, you can feel free to message us on our Instagram page.
All right. Thanks, ladies. That was great. Since we are having this event virtually this year, we thought it would be a great idea if we all just connected, had a quick discussion, and just made sure that everybody who's watching this video really knows how they can get in contact with you. What are the next steps? So we're hoping that each of you can kind of provide a little overview of how future students are able to get in contact with you moving forward.
Thanks, Allison. Well, the main message that I want to get out to everyone is that we are still here to support students. So despite the fact that we've had some of our services limited on campus right now, we are still available. The best way to reach us is by email, so hwas@niagaracollege.ca. And students can also reach us by telephone, and the number is listed below. Extension 7778 or extension 4409. You can always just leave a message, and those are checked frequently, and somebody will certainly get back to you very soon. For health services, typically that's the best way to reach out initially, and then whoever takes your call or takes your message will be in contact with one of the nurses. We'll be able to reach out to students try to talk to them and find out what their needs are, and then arrange for them to meet with us or meet with our physicians as necessary, or somewhere in the community that might be a good fit for them so they can access the healthcare that they need.
Great, thank you. And then we thought we would just have a little bit of discussion as well, given the current COVID pandemic that is happening right now. Obviously, a lot of your services are looking very different. So we're just wondering if you can kind of elaborate a little bit more about how you're supporting students virtually, and if you are still kind of connecting with them in person, or if you're doing things through an online software. What does that look like for each of your areas right now?
Well, I can start with that question, Allison. In health services, it is a little bit different than some of the other areas in the college because we are still seeing people in person. We're not seeing any walk-in patients at this time. So students would have to reach out to our office either through the email that I mentioned earlier or by telephone. And then we would give them instructions and get a little more information to be sure that we were seeing them appropriately and that we were following all the precautions that are in place and that have been recommended by public health. But many of our appointments are on the phone and virtual because often that's a good way to connect with students and be able to meet their healthcare needs without them having to come on campus. So it really just depends on the individual. It depends on the situation. And we just talk with them and try to figure out what would be the best fit and take it from there. So every situation is unique, and we want to make sure that we personalize the care that we're providing to best meet the needs of the individual.
Great, thanks, Chris. Isabel, do you want to share what your experience has been in this new virtual world that we're currently experiencing?
Thank you, Allison. Students can book an appointment to see an accessibility consultant by contacting the HWAS at niagaracollege.ca email that Chris highlighted. And then an intake appointment would be booked. Students are still able to access their academic accommodations. Nothing has changed in regards to your ability to still access those. The only accommodation that the process has changed is if students require additional time for test. Pre-COVID, they would book their test with the test center, either online or in person. Now that we've transitioned, many programs have transitioned to an online platform, students will need to contact their professors to request that their test times be altered.
And Michelle,
How to reach the Yeah, I was just going to jump in.
Perfect.
How to reach the counselors. Well, as both Chris and Isabel have mentioned, the main email is the best way to get in touch with us, or calling one of the numbers that we previously posted. The process, though, is pretty simple. What happens is the intake forms get sent to you, and the counselors then would be able to support you in the mental health and wellness needs that you have. The appointments are virtual, which, some of my students have actually found to be helpful because it cuts down time. They're able to do it on days they don't have class, and they can manage without having to come on campus, which is a surprisingly helpful thing for a lot of students. They can manage their time a little bit differently. The counselors work very hard with our students, making sure that there's a strong connection and that there's follow-up, and we're really connected with you and meeting the needs of the students.
Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We really appreciate it. And again, like the ladies have mentioned here, there's some really great ways that you can connect with all three of them. So we hope that you do that, and we hope that you get the information that you need and enjoy the rest of Open House.